Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Football Kentron, the only English language podcast dedicated to Armenian football. Today, we have a full house here. We have the usual suspects, Chadens and Armen, and Tito is also joining us today, and Theo is back. So, everyone, round of applause for Theo.
Yeah.
We have a full house. We have a full packed show for you guys today. We have a lot of things to get through, so let's get started. So first, we're going to start with the news. In the Armenian Premier League, FC Lori of Vanadzor walked off the pitch at the first whistle versus Ararat Yerevan as a protest to a decision made by the Football Federation of Armenia because of a COVID match fiasco that they had earlier on in the season, where they were not able to reschedule a match and they had lost the majority of their squad due to COVID. And as a result of not being able to field a team, they were forfeited a few points. So they basically threatened to withdraw from the Armenian Premier League, and lo and behold, they withdrew from the Armenian Premier League. But it feels like there's a little bit more to the story than what we actually know. We know that Lori does have some sort of financial issues currently, but we don't know what the extent of those are at the moment. All we know right now is that as of now, Lori is not going to be involved anymore in the Armenian Premier League, and they would be the second club this season behind Ganzasar, who we've already previously mentioned. Speaking of the Armenian Premier League, we have a listener question, and this question was posed to us two-pronged. This listener asked, who are your favorite players from the Armenian Premier League and the Greek Super League? So, Armen, give us your answer.
My answer is, and until his very last day at the Armenian Premier League, will be Aras Osbilis, my favorite Armenian player of all times. That didn't quite live up to his potential due to injuries and stuff. We will be discussing him further, and questions about him are always welcome because I'm crazy about this guy. So it's Aras, it's Osbilis for me. As for the Greek Super League, I would say Kostas Fortounis from Olympiakos. They're number 10 in playmaker. I remember him playing with Georg Kazarian at a couple years ago. And I was honestly surprised for like good reasons, and then sadly saw him tear things apart against us in the Armenia-Greek clash. He was great. I mean, you can tell that he was the organizer, and the Greek national team was all about him. But even then we won. Luckily, we won that game.
Yeah, look. It's funny you mentioned Aras Osbilis. A lot of people have been asking me and just generally on Twitter where he is, because he's like nowhere in the Punic squad, and he had not posted anything on social media for months until a few days ago. He's actually been in Amsterdam, back home. What he considers his home, and he's actually opening up a restaurant. So there you go. That's what Osbilis has been up to. For those people,
he's awesome.
Theo.
Awesome.
Give us your answers. Favorite APL, favorite GSL. Who you got?
So my choice for the APL will be Georg Caparros. It's an original one because he's still here at 40 years old now, and his experience and involvement for the Armenian national team has been really important, and it was just behind the great Berezovsky on the goalkeepers, but I always love him in his attitude also, and it was my choice, more original, I will say. And for the Greek Super League, it's Petros Mantalos, the keymaker of AEK. Similar one as Kostas Fortounis that Armen said previously. Is number 10. Is the organizer of the team, and AEK is my favorite one in Greece. So it was obviously that choice.
Oh, all right. That sounds amazing. Chadens, you're up.
Mine is Angulo Ubemar from Ararat, Armenia. his role is going to definitely become a bigger part very soon, I think, especially if there's a formation change, which I think there will be. We might even go to 4-3-3 soon. It's one of the most intense and most hardworking formations that they will play. So I think Wubema will be very important. Plus, I like him now anyway. His work rate is amazing. And from Greek Super League, again, because of work rate, I didn't watch him from Olympiacos, to be honest. But I remember I used to watch him from Watford. It's Jose Holevas. His work rate is amazing as a left back. He's always that tough player who is hard to get through from. I like that kind of attitude. Yeah. I used to watch him from Watford and
also.
Yeah.
Tito, do you have any favorite players from the APL that you want to share?
Yes, of course. From the APL, I would choose Alexander Garabedian. He wasn't very important right now in Ararat Armenia, but I think that when we needed him in the national team, he appeared, he scored, he was important, and I think that that's something that it gives the Armenian Premier League another level. And from the Greek Super League, I'm sorry, but I never watch a game from Greek Super League, so I don't have any favorite player.
That's
As I knowing you and knowing your love for number 9s, I don't think you know this, but a returnee to the Greek Super League is Kostas Mitroglou, that now
I
is
thought about him.
Aris Salonika. So
when you said number 9, I thought about him. I didn't know.
yeah,
I didn't know he was playing.
He's actually not. The curious thing is he didn't go to either one of the 4 big teams. He's not at Olympiacos or PAOK. He's at Aris, and that's an interesting thing.
Well, for me personally, Armen Ambartsuyan from Ararat Armenia, I think he's a fantastically underrated central midfielder. I have literally no idea why he hasn't been called to the national team. I think he should have been on the list, but we'll discuss that as a third option. And from the Greek Super League, Christios Tsolis from PAOK, the 19-year-old left winger, already started playing senior national team for Greece. Very, very young and extremely talented. Probably won't be in PAOK for much longer. So
I know. I think I know who you're talking about. Isn't he the kid that scored the brace in Champions League playoffs against the Turkish team this last season?
I think so.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, you would know that.
All right,
Armen. Armen, there's some news from the Football Federation coming out. What do you got for us?
Yeah, and this is not random and unrelated as most of the things I say. Bad joke. Thank you for laughing. I needed that. So yeah, real news. Football Federation of Armenia Chairman Armen Melikpekyan, whose work I'm pretty excited about so far. He's been doing great work, to be honest. He has announced, as you've been following, the appointment of new Football Federation of Armenia representative now for Europe, which would be Levon Bajajian, former Armenian National Team, of course, player, Punic Yerevan, Shirak Gyumri. He was a midfielder striker that has been playing in Sweden, in the Swedish lower divisions for a couple of years, 2013 to be exact. But yeah, that's not high profile, and he's been making the turn off the pitch contributions. So having personally followed him in social media for a while now, I have always been delighted with how he would talk, how the things he would say. He's like very well cultured, knowledgeable, patriotic, of course. Hayrena said pragmatic, very smart decision, in my opinion, from the FFA, from Mr. Melikpekyan. So kudos. There are almost 2 million Armenians, if you think about it. 2 million Armenians in Western and Central Europe. So Bajajian will have a lot of work to do from Sweden, where he lives. And without going further, he will be operating from the country that gave us current national team star center back Andre Chalesher. So you can get the idea of how important things will be. Other national team players that were born and grew up in Europe, you can say Heno in Valence in France, Sako, by Heno I mean Mkhitaryan, of course, Sako Adamian from Rostock, Germany, Edgar Babayan, who grew up in Hamburg, Germany as well, and then moved to Denmark. There's a lot to look forward to. 2 million Armenians, so hopefully more and more Armenian talents can rise from Europe, and who knows, we can only assume that the next designation from the Football Federation of Armenia should, in my opinion, be Russia, and of course post-Soviet countries, because little known fact, over 5 million Armenians live in post-Soviet world. So that's gonna be even bigger. But that's enough news for now. That's enough breaking news for now, because next up is what we're all gathered here today, ladies and gentlemen. Joaquin Caparros has announced the first draft of 31 players that will take part in the Armenian National Team camp for March. Take into account that this 31 players, a couple, I think 3 or 4, will be cut before the final list. And of course, match lists will be of only 23 players each. But on to the list officially. Theo, who are the players that Caparros called?
So first of all, we'll speak about the goalkeepers. We have obviously David Yurchenko, our new goalkeeper since a few games now from the Alashkert team, Arsene Beglarian from the UR2, and Anatoly Ayvazov from the UR2 too. For the defenders, the great Ovanes Ambardzumian, who scored last time against Macedonia in this legendary game that we all enjoyed here, is actually playing in Famagusta in Cyprus.
Yeah.
So that's it. Kamo Vanisian, the Armenian Usain Bolt from FC Kairat, Kazakhstan. Andrei Chalisier from Apollon Smyrnis in Greece. Varazdat Aurelian from Astana, also in Kazakhstan as Kamo. Taron
My
Voskat.
captain.
We know. We know.
The most beautiful bird in Caucasus. Taron Voskanian from.
Let him finish.
I didn't want to hear that one.
Yo, I have some statistics about Voskanian that I'm going to throw at you, Armin, and I'm going to make you change your opinion. Anyway, continue, Theo.
Aik Ishkanian from Shirak. The most talented, surely, or maybe in this list, a defensive promising one, Eric Simonian from UR2. Aram, you spoke
17 years old.
Him. Yeah, you spoke about him on Twitter accounts, and I think you will want to take a stand also for him. Jordi Ararat Monroe, the great return for our Colombian from.
I'm so excited for that.
Me too. I'm so happy for him.
Serob Grigorian from FC Punic, who scored a beautiful goal. I think you all saw it in the different social media. Arman Ovanisian from Punic. And finally, maybe one of the favorites of Gia, Akob Akobian from UR2. Tito, maybe you can tell us the midfielders.
Okay, well, at midfielders we have for the first time in the Armenian National Team, Eduard Spurtian Krasnodar. We also have, I don't know if it's okay to call him the hero of the last UEFA Nations League for Armenia, Dikram Barsegian.
Easily.
True that.
MVP.
True that.
From FC Astana. We also have the return of Khorem Bayramian from Rostov. We have Gigi Zen, Gevorg Ghazarian from Lamia. We have also Baham Bichakchian from Žilina. We have
My boy.
I was going to talk about
I thought
that
Adam
later.
would have said that one.
We have Edgar Babayan, recently joined Riga. That's not good, but
Unbelievable.
but it's good that he's on national team. That's true.
Sure.
We have Solomon Udo from Shakhtar Karagandi. We have Artak Grigorian from Malashgird. Aram Kocharian from Lori. I don't know what's going to happen to him.
He's gonna be dropped.
Probably.
He's not bad, but come on.
We also have Bedros Avetissian from Noah.
Interesting.
Interesting team, Noah, with 3 players on the national team. We also have Jirair Shagoyan from, I don't know if it's okay
Another
to
kid.
pronounce it, BKMA.
It's CSK.
Yeah, it's
The Armenian CSKA.
It's the Army team, yeah.
We have Karem Muradian from Ararat Yerevan. And we also have Webay Marangulo from Ararat Armenia.
My other boy.
Yeah.
Speaking of forwards, can you run us through the forwards challenge?
Definitely.
Please.
Forwards, we have Sarkis Adamian for Hoffenheim. We're excited about this one. Everyone is excited about this one.
Yes.
Always.
Norberto
Norberto Briasco Balekian for Atletico Huracan. We have Alexander Karapetyan for Ararat Armenia and Artur Miranyan from Urartu.
Okay, guys. So we have the squad list here, and there's obviously some notable absentees. There is no Mkhitaryan. We know he got injured in the first leg of the round of 16 Europa League clash against Shakhtar Donetsk. And he will not be joining the national team because he's not fit, and he's not playing for Roma either. And of course, Roma are losing to Napoli because of it. Arshak Koryan, unfortunately, although being back in training, is not joining the national team.
That's a real sad one.
Yeah, because I think we really need him, and he's a good vocal presence on the field. And then Geram Kadimian, not included in the huge roster, weirdly enough. I think that might come down to little to no play time in the last 6 months. We have some recovering players. GG10 just had surgery, but he did confirm on Instagram that he is traveling with the team. I highly doubt he's in the matchday squad, and I doubt even more that he'll get any minutes. Maybe he's there to be like the big older figure. And we'll see. And Khorem Bayramian played a full 90 minutes in the past match for Rostov, so he's well and truly in. Weird change. Yuri Garaginyan, who was originally called up in the squad, is out, and Webay Marungula was brought in. Originally, it was thought Angula wasn't fit enough, but I mean, I'm not complaining. I'd rather have him. All right, guys, let's discuss this team. Let's start with the goalkeepers. We have the usual 3. So, Theo, what are your thoughts?
Already, I'm so happy that Yurchenko is here because we saw his impact on the last games that he played, and since his arrival, even it's been really decisive. I think about the Georgia game when we draw 2-2, and he did a lot for us. I think he's really one of the guys who give us some some level that we didn't reach before because we were too powerless at this key function that is which is goalkeeper, and I'm obviously happy about his presence. Is the starter undoubtedly, and after Beglarian and Aivazov, I don't really have an opinion about about them. They are on the bench. I'm a bit interesting about the fact is Beglarian the number 2 or Aivazov for Caparros. We never see or we never heard something about it.
And I hope we never do.
Yeah. For now.
Yeah, totally. So that's it. Yeah, I'm really happy about Yurchenko, and I think we can all be happy here about
Yeah.
So looking at this list of defenders, Armen, there's one name that to most people raises a lot of questions, and I'm talking about Eric Simonian.
Oh. You didn't go there. Okay.
No, yeah, no. I'm not talking about Jordi. I'm not talking about Jordi. I love Jordi Ararat. I think he's
not that one either.
Oh, you're talking about the Honorable Scania?
I'm not. No. Why did you say the name? Why would you?
Anyway, Eric Simonian. He is a player that I think a lot of people didn't expect to be in this lineup, and he's a little bit of a question mark. What are your thoughts on who could potentially be the future starting center back for Armenia?
Whoa. Well, if you introduce the question like that, I mean, of course it's gonna be Eric Simonian. I've never seen him play, but but I don't know, man. I mean, for the next couple of years, we're good. We're started with Andre the Giant and my captain Bato, but of course Jordi Ararat can also turn into a center back for the next 5 years because he's also very, very young. Speaking of young center backs, and not even getting into Eric Simonian, Abova Vetisian from Kishvarda in Hungary, in the Hungarian top flight, has been called for the Armenian under 21 national team, and I have received very, very good reviews about him and about his game. He's already the Kishvarda's youth team's captain, so I'm hoping he will rise up, and looking very, very, very much looking forward to see him above playing, to assess just how good he is. And there's also rising stars in Artur Danielian and another Artur. Man, why are so many Armenians called Artur? Artur Kartasyan, which he needs to live up to his potential sooner than later. But about this national team defense, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty solid, even if it has your friend Taron on it. But yeah, I like it because I was gonna get into Caparros's views on versatility players like Jordi Ararat, who can play all over the defensive line. So that's gonna be pretty useful.
Well, here's what I was going to tell you. Don Voskanen actually made several appearances during the Nations League. I think it was like 3 appearances, and we didn't lose in any of the 3 games he played. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
And we only conceded, I believe it was 1 goal or something in those 3 matches that he was playing in. I know it's a different level of competition, obviously, but we have 3 games in 7 days, so there's going to be some rotation. And Voskanen might probably be starting, because I doubt he's going to start Simonian against Romania.
No, of course. Yeah. But if he's going to rotate, hopefully it's going to be, I don't know, Ishkhanian is way better than him, and is going to start. I think Ishkhanian is the first substitute option for center back. And even though I sadly have to agree about Boskanian probably getting some playtime, I would take the risk, like gamble on using Ararat as a center back if we need a second rotation for center backs.
I see. Well,
But Arman, just what do you think about the role of Akobian as a center back? Because maybe he could.
he's tall enough.
No. Agopian as a center back, I don't see it happening. I think that Caparros sees, even though I know Caparros sees Hagopian as a fullback, I think it's interesting how Hagopian is actually a center back, a center midfielder, and a defensive midfielder, kind of like a Philip Lam, of course, different at a different level, but I'm sorry. I mean, but I don't know, man. Hagopian has a lot of future though, but he's kind of like that, like a fullback that can also play defensive mid.
So moving on to the midfield, Chorens, we know that we had this grand video of Joaquin Caparros writing down everyone's name, spelling Chalesir's name incorrectly, but letting us essentially know the players that he sees in every position. And interestingly enough, because of Henrik Mkhitaryan's injury, we have two players that are listed as the number 10 in the 4-2-3-1, being Vahan Bichakjian and Petros Avetisyan. Chorens, do you think Vahan might actually finally get his start?
Yeah, I think he's going to be the one, especially Gorian's absence. Gigi also, not being sure that he will start. Horen is just coming back from the injury, so he's not 100%. Dikran is definitely going to be there, so there's no winger or any other kind of position that he's going to take if there's some rotations. So I do think that Vahan will start as a number 10. It's too early for Sperzian, to be honest. It's too early.
Well, that's the interesting thing to come out of this was Joaquin Caparros had listed Sperzian as a central midfielder who would play alongside the defensive midfielder in Artak Grigorian. So obviously he can play him higher up the pitch, sure, but he clearly sees Sperzian as that ball-playing midfielder. So we might even maybe after a substitution or two could see a Sperzian, Vahan, Giray, Shahoyan type of situation going on in the midfield.
It depends a lot on a lot of factors. I think that there are two factors at play: the games that we're playing, the teams that are against us, basically. So what they will demand out of us, and the second is the fact that I mentioned this before in the previous episode as well. The fact that we're playing 3 games in 8 days. So there's a lot of demand, a lot for all the teams, but for us specifically, where we're at that phase where we're just growing the team, and it's a national team, it's very different, and it's a new environment for everyone, I think.
Oh, it's an interesting take. Midfield is going to be the place that I think we're going to see the most changes throughout the 3 matches. Seeing as we have like 6 players that are between those 2 center mid spots. Artak Grigorian's 33 years old now. He plays every match 90 minutes at club level. His legs aren't going to be the same. And it seems that he has Solomon Udo playing under that Artak Grigorian role, and Karim Muradian also. So we're going to see a lot of tinkering, I think, in that department. But moving a little further up the pitch, we're talking about the delantero.
That's actually good.
Thank you.
I'm
Tito,
surprised.
We have a boy that we thought was going to be on your team, but might have to wait until the summer. We'll see. Speaking of our options up front, no one is in form. Sako isn't playing. Balakan hasn't scored in a while. Karapetyan has missed 2 penalties so far. Miranian, I don't even know why he's there. What are your thoughts on our striking option?
Maybe he just
Yeah.
liked him.
Yeah, I think the striker position is like the biggest unknown here, because if we think about the most talented player, it should be Adamian, but he is not playing. Today that we are recording on Sunday, he didn't play any minute at all.
And they lost too. They were down, and he still
Yeah.
didn't get something.
Yeah, and I couldn't watch the game, but I saw the formations, and he had like 6 strikers on the bench.
Mhm.
That was really
Oh my God, unbelievable.
really weird. But yeah, he didn't play. Next, Briasco Balakan. Here in Argentina at Huracan, he isn't playing in that position. He plays more on the side, left side.
Yeah, the right side. Yeah,
No,
he's actually
He's a left winger. He's playing as left wing.
he played left winger this weekend, but
Yeah.
everyone has been over how last year when he like hit his peak, he was on the right wing, and I agree because we only have 2 options on the right wing, and one of them is recovering from an injury.
But he won't play right wing. If he's gonna start at wing, he's starting at left wing because we have Ghazarian's
Okay.
injured, Shagoyan's 19 years old, and then Babayan
True.
plays in Latvia. So I'd rather not even have him in the squad.
No, yeah, he totally can play at striker position. I think that we already have the other positions covered, so that's why the option here is at striker, and he can play at that position. I think that that's one of the reasons that he isn't scoring too much here in Argentina because he isn't playing in that position.
Mhm.
And yes, of course, and then well. Garabedian, he's at a low level right now in the Armenian Premier League. So I think that that's the big unknown. I would go with Adamian, but he isn't having playing time. So
Yeah.
that's
Maybe to
that's
gain confidence.
Yeah, I think maybe to
And-
gain confidence, and
he
the opposition's only going to
also-
get harder.
He's also a German speaker, so he will understand whatever the opposing defense is saying
That's
against
true.
Liechtenstein.
Well, let me pose you guys this question. Let me throw this at Theo. We know that Caparros wants to play a 4-2-3-1 clearly, but he's played 4-4-2 very successfully in the Nations League. If he does opt to go that route against the stronger opposition later in the tournament, be it home versus Iceland, home versus Romania, or away against those teams, which 2 strikers do you think he would start with up top between these 4?
I think we may. I think the other option could be Barsekian with Sako, because Barsekian could play on the right wing, but if you put Sako and Chico at the front together, and Briasco as the right winger, sorry, and maybe when he will be fit, Beyramian or Ghazarian as the left winger, it could be more offensive, but on the paper, on the tactic base, it's really interesting, and I would like to see these 4 together at the front for sure.
That sounds very interesting. Well, I think what we should also maybe begin to do is look into our opposition. Armin, start us through some of the most key players for Liechtenstein.
Yeah, well, Liechtenstein is considerably weaker than Armenia on paper, but they do have some interesting names among their ranks. For instance, who in our opinion is the best player for them is Sandro Visa, who is actually has been injured for 2 years now. He's been injured since 2019. He's 28 years old, a playmaker, number 10, playing in Vaduz. Has a contract, but he's not playing, of course. He is a former Basel, Hoffenheim, and Reading, among other teams, player. And honestly, his national team still feels his absence, and you're gonna know why when we go over their 2020 results. But the last time they played against us, they were way better than they now are, and that's because they had this guy on the pitch. So they still can't seem, luckily for us, can't seem to replace him, and they have to run their game basically around their second best player, who is Nicolas Hasla, 29 years old midfielder. He can play all over the midfield area. Number 10 of the wings, center midfielder. He's now playing in Thun, which is basically a good Swiss team, but now relegated to Swiss second tier. So that's also a thing to consider. Their best player not in peak form. He was actually former teammates with Yura, our beloved Yura Movsisyan at Chicago Fire. But well, yeah, for us, that's how you pronounce it. What can I say? But yeah, he hasn't been playing well ever since sharing teams with Yura. But they have a couple promising players in the Freak brothers. They're the Liechtenstein Freaks. They're a couple of freaks, Noah Freak. That's literally their last name. Noah Frick is 19 years old. He's also a center midfielder, so that's going to be interesting to see. He plays in Samax, also in the Swiss second tier. Also now injured, and will probably not play against us, luckily. And his brother, Yannick Frick, 22 years old. He's a striker. Now playing in Energie Cottbus, which is also another good team in Germany that is seeing some dark days because they're playing German fourth tier. But Yannick did his youth career in St. Gallen, which is a great Swiss team. Yeah, so he has a couple things to say against us. And before kicking this over to the Liechtenstein results, they have the Buchel brothers, who are a little older. Martin Buchel is 24 years old, a center midfielder, more defensive kind of central midfielder. He would be in theory their captain, but has lately been dropped. I believe he has probably retired from the national team due to old age, and most likely, I am sad to say that Benny Buchel, his younger brother, 31 years old, is probably going to be their captain this time. And Benny Buchel is not the best memory for me and most Armenian national team fans, because this goalkeeper, who's probably going to be their captain now, playing in Vaduz 2 in the Swiss first tier, was the guy that basically led Liechtenstein to their best results against us. I think it was a draw or a win, I can't remember, but I do remember basically cussing my life out at this guy because
it was a draw. We've never lost to Liechtenstein.
Okay, but, yeah. that was the one then. 1-1, was it?
We've had a 1-1. We've had a 2-2 draw.
Okay, this guy stopped literally everything that was thrown at him, and I was shocked. Where did this guy come from? So hopefully this time is going to be different, and I think Armenia will have to play with, Caparros, of course, will have to play with this Liechtenstein being used to not having the ball at all. So I think he will have to play smart to probably beat Benny Buchel at the goal. So to sum up, let's go over the Liechtenstein 2020 results and why they're not at their peak challenge. What did Liechtenstein have in 2020 UEFA Nations League?
Well, they had some couple of losses and a couple of draws. They finished second in the group with Gibraltar and San Marino. So the teams that are around on their levels. To sum up with points, to get the idea, it's 5 points in 4 matches with 1 goal difference. So they've scored 3 goals, conceded 2, which is not their best record. Their last win that came was in September, 2-0 against San Marino. So the last two games there are no wins. Only basically two camps. Sorry, their last 2 camps, only 1 win in 5 official games at Nations League level. So that's the Division D,
which is
in
bad.
2020. Yeah, it's the lowest from all the list, basically from all the groups of the Nations League.
Yes.
I swear, if we don't win this,
So this is they're also a team that is changing. We have historically not performed well away to Liechtenstein, as I've said previously. We've drawn there twice, but we have never lost to them. But of course, we're expecting this Armenia team to come out and be a lot more offensive and try to finish the game off early to rest key players for the following match. But Liechtenstein obviously are going to have their own ideas, and they've recently appointed a new manager. Tito, talk us through Martin Stoklasa.
Well, Martin Stoklasa, new manager, they signed in this year, 2021. He's former assistant manager at St. Gallen in Switzerland. He managed, I think, all the under national teams from Liechtenstein.
The youth national teams.
Under 15, under 19, and under 21. He only had 1 win at under 21 national team in 10 matches, but it was against Azerbaijan, so 1-0 against Azerbaijan, so it's okay.
That's awesome.
Sweet victory.
He uses a traditional 4-4-2. He was asked about these World Cup qualifiers, and he said that he put Armenia as a difficult team. So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, he said we're difficult to assess, and he's obviously right, because we're what was that manager? I think he was the manager of Milan at the time. Anyway, there's a meme where he goes sometimes maybe good, sometimes
maybe
translate
shit.
That's us.
Gattuso.
Let me translate. What he basically says is, against teams like Armenia and North Macedonia, we're gonna park the bus straight away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty much.
That is the translation.
So
yeah, he's going to do that against all teams.
Yeah.
It's typical in their level, if you think about it.
Against us, he expects a point or two.
Yeah. That I think that's the thing that we could pull out this. He basically says against Germany, Iceland, Romania, no chance. Against Macedonia, Armenia, maybe there's a chance we can get a point. But speaking of points, our head-to-head record against Liechtenstein is good, but not great. Theo, run us through how we performed.
Not what it should be.
So we played 4 matches against Liechtenstein in the past for 2 wins and 2 draws. So no loss, as you say, Adam. 8 goals scored, 4 goals conceded. 2 draws were away to Liechtenstein, 1-1 in 2019 and 2-2 in 1918. I think Jura scored in this game. Maybe one of his last goals for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we have not beaten them away. That will have to change, obviously, because we need points and we need to begin these qualifiers with the best way, the best possible way. It will be a good test for Armenia to see if we really have improved under Caparros and or still drop points to decide we should realistically be beating by wide margins. I think it will be the great point for this game, and I'm really waiting on the great performance of the players and the fact that we have to win. There's no other option if we want to dream a bit on this group.
Yeah.
So now we've looked at our Armenia squad. We've looked at the opposition in Liechtenstein. Let's go one by one. Quickly tell me who would you like to see in your starting 11 and what formation. I'll start off with you, Armen.
All right. Well, of course, David Yushchenko always at the goal.
Well, what's the formation? Which one are you playing?
Oh, as a formation. Well, as I said, what I think it's going to be most important is the style of play, because Liechtenstein is basically going to park the bus. They are used to, playing like not having the ball at all against the absolute majority of the teams they play against. And the last couple draws we had against them was like that. We had the ball all the time. We had possession. We basically shot everything we had at our feet to their goal and couldn't break through. So probably a good alternative for that, like to breach their bus, would be two strikers up front. Now that I think about it, because we have to get the balls to the strikers, and once they have it, they can pivot and get support from one or two midfielders. So probably a 4-4-2 doesn't sound all that bad.
All right, so who's on the team then?
For me, okay. So the lineup for that 4-4-2 would be Yushchenko, as I said, at the goal, and on the right back for Caparros, there are the three options in Hampartumian, Hovhannisyan, and Ararat. Either one of them could play. I think it would be a nice time for Hampartumian, for Hovo to get some rest and start either Gamo or Ararat. They're both more than qualified to take on Liechtenstein. Defense, well, yeah, I think it's a good time for Chalisher to get some rest too, because he's not in the best fitness possible. And yeah, if he's good enough to play and Caparros thinks he can play, then Chalisher could use the experience and chemistry with Vato. If not, it's gonna be Haikishkhanyan and Vato. On the left back, I think Serop would be a great idea this time. So my defense would be Ararat, Chalisher, Vato, Haroyan, and Serop Grigorian. In the middle, it would also be a nice time for Gare Muradian to make a starting appearance with Uweimar and Udo. Midfield, up front midfield, on the wings, Tiko Parsekian, and why not Jirai Shagoyan. And up front, I'm taking my time to say, I have to think about this. This is serious. This is serious stuff. Either striker.
Would you like become their assistant manager or something?
Yes, actually, yeah. Either striker is okay. I think it's the good time for Sakwa Damian and Karabedian. Why not?
All right. Felt like I just went through a novel. Tito,
I like to narrate. I like to take my time for good things.
What is your formation and starting 11? Who would you start against Liechtenstein? What's your prediction?
My formation would be 4-2-3-1, but with the wingers like more offensive, more attacking. And well, of course, on goalkeeper would be Yurchenko, no doubt about that. I would go with maybe Hampartumian Chalishir, Haroyan, and Hovhannisyan and Camel. Center midfield, I would go with Grigorian and Udo, maybe Webimar instead of Udo. Number 10, I think it's like the best opportunity for Bichakchan to carry the team, to put the number 10, to put on the number 10.
Yeah, if you're gonna play with a 10, yeah.
Yeah. Wingers, Barsegian on the right side and Bayramian on the left side. And I would go with Sago, with Adamian at the striker position.
So basically, no substitutes. Like you would go all in.
We have to win this game, and it's the perfect game to get the most goal difference and score the shit out of them.
Yeah,
that's actually an interesting take. I mean, considering goal difference.
Yeah, exactly. Chadens, formation, players, go.
4-2-3-1 with a steady start. Yurchenko in goal. Hovo, Chalisir, Haroyan, and Arman for me in defense. Udo and Grigorian. Even though Grigorian, yeah, we mentioned that he's getting tired, but I think he will just start just to give the team some form of lead.
Confidence, yeah.
Tigran on the right wing with Vahan in the middle. And along them will be Babayan. And I predict that Karabedian will actually start this game. However, he decides to go after that is obviously upon him. But I think Karabedian will start. I think he will start this one.
All right, Theo, you're starting 11.
Yes, it's a bit similar as Chadens, Yurchenko in the goalkeeper as the goalkeeper, Ambarzumian, Chalisir, Vato, and Sereb Grigorian for the defenders. Grigorian and Udo at the midfield. Tigran, Van, and Babayan at the front with Sako to give him more confidence and to be able maybe to score. That will be the goal for him, and to be on the best conditions for the next games will be crucial.
All right, let me roll through mine really quick. Also a 4-2-3-1. I think for a similar reason, Caparros is going to want to score as many goals early on as possible. So he's going to want to put out a strong team, but simultaneously want to be able to sub 5 of those key players off before the next match as early as possible, like 60th minute. Change half the team. So I'll start with Yurchenko in goal, of course. I think Hovhannes Ambarzumian, Andre Chalisir, Haroyan, and Sereb Grigorian will make up the back line. A couple of them will likely get substituted, I think. Artak Grigorian and Solomon Udo are my starting central midfielders. I think Grigorian very likely to get substituted, and I think Udo might play the full 90. It's going to be a rotation between them two and Webemar Angulo. Spertian might get something here and there, but I maybe not for this first game. Starting on the right side, I'd say Tigran Barserian with Vahan in the number 10, and I think as much as I want Jiraj Haroyan to start, I don't think he's going to start. I think it's going to be Babayan on the left wing with Sako starting up top. But
Why are you rushing?
I'm rushing to try to. I've already gotten all of my thoughts and opinions out. I think we will see Briasco and Karapetyan also subbed on. I think we'll see Spertian maybe get a few minutes, and I think mainly we'll see the center backs be substituted off because 7 matches in 3 days against really good opposition might be a lot for Chalisir and Haroyan. So I'm expecting a lot of substitutions. I think as many goals as early as possible is the goal, of course.
Question: the 5 substitution rule still stands then?
I believe it does. Yes, I believe currently for World Cup qualifiers this, and also as a reminder, VAR is now implemented in World Cup qualifiers. So hopefully, Hopefully, no bullshit penalty
Yeah.
calls against us.
I don't know who can disagree with me with this or who can agree with me, but UEFA has the best referees compared to all the leagues. I'm
Yeah,
just
I don't
saying
think
this.
South America can ever say they have good referees.
I'm
And
just
they
saying
have
this.
the means. UEFA has the means.
Yeah, that's true. They have the means.
Well, that's one of the reasons, yeah. But yeah, but UEFA gets it from different leagues. They get from all around
Yeah.
Europe.
From the top leagues,
which
they pull
also
them from the
have
top leagues.
which also have the most means.
Exactly, the most money. All right.
Yeah.
So
So
about the money.
I think we don't need to go through. We don't do predictions because I don't want to do them, and I don't think I don't. It's like
Yeah,
bad omen.
We know better by now.
We know better by now. We obviously all very much are of the opinion that Armenia should be winning this game, and it's going to be interesting to see if there really has been a change. We have a quick listener question from Michael Vicini, an Australian-based blogger and podcaster on Hellas Footy. And
Yasufile.
he asks, how many points do you think Armenia will collect from the first 3 matches? Liechtenstein is a must-win, though. Iceland and Romania are tricky matches, but you do have home advantage. Quickly, guys, I'm not asking you how. Okay, he's asking how many points do you think, not want. So, quick number between 1 and 9. What do you guys think?
I don't want to answer.
Okay. Armin
I'll
doesn't
tell
want
you in 2 weeks.
until you'll tell us in 2 weeks. Yeah, I think that's been the general consensus. Anyone else? Theo, Tito, want to answer this?
I think I think best scenario is
That's a scary question.
is getting 7 points, but I don't know if we are gonna get 7 points. I think we are gonna get 5.
5? Okay.
1 win and 2 draws.
You know what? If you would give me that option ahead of time, I might take it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
Tito
difficult.
sounds confident though.
Because we are more than good enough. I mean, we know we are obviously don't have Koryan or Mkhitaryan, but we've been playing really well without Mkhitaryan, and I think we can continue to do so.
Yeah, of course.
Theo, any thoughts?
I will say 6 points.
You'll say 6 points? I would love 6 points. I'm going for. I think we're gonna get 7. I have dreamed of going undefeated until Germany, and I'm still gonna blindly believe in the Armenian national team. All right. Well, here's a reminder for all of our listeners if you've gotten this far. On Sunday the 28th, we are going to be at home versus Iceland, and then Wednesday
The
the 30th
Vikings.
at home against Romania, and we will be doing wrap-ups and previews for each of these matches as well. You can expect one on Friday after the Liechtenstein game, where we'll be wrapping that up and giving our thoughts. Also, while giving a quick look into the Iceland squad and how they played in their first match against Germany. And then we'll also be doing the same for Romania. Anything else to add, boys?
I'm so excited.
I know, it's finally here. It's been months. Well, everyone, on behalf of all of the guys, we had a full house here today. Hopefully we can continue doing that. Thank you for joining me today, boys. Thank you, Theo, for coming back. Theo's back, everyone. Yay.
Yeah.
Va bien.
Tito, pleasure as always to get your pessimistic opinion. And
I thought I was the pessimistic. I was the pessimistic.
I mean, you're clearly the Socrates of this group.
I want to say that I kill and die for the 7 points that you say.
And,
That's the attitude, though.
I hope the team has that same attitude and mentality. And we will see you guys again on Friday, hopefully after getting 3 points against Liechtenstein. All right, that's it for us. Bye.
Tebi haqtanak.
Group winners!